Hi everyone. Today we're going to study the deciles. Let us define the deciles. The deciles are the score points which divide a distribution into 10 equal parts and are denoted by d sub 1, d sub 2, d sub 3 up to d sub 9. The d sub 1 value denotes that 10% of the distribution fall below it. For d sub 2 means 20% of the distribution fall below it. For d sub 3, it means 30% of the distribution fall below it. D sub 4 means 40% of the distribution fall below it. D sub 5 means 50% of the distribution fall below it. I hope you can see a pattern on this. This pattern continues to D sub 6, D sub 7, D sub 8, and the D sub 9 means 90% of the distribution fall below it. Let us see now the formulas for the deciles. It is said that deciles are computed in much the same way as how the median, quartiles, and percentiles are calculated. Here are the formulas for d sub 1, d sub 2, d sub 3, d sub 4, and d sub 5 respectively. I hope you can see the pattern here. This is much the same way of the formula for the median. The only difference is this portion here. For d sub 1, this is 1/10 times n. For d sub 2, 2/10 times n. For d sub 3, this is 3/10 times n. D sub 4, 4/10 times n. And d sub 5, 5/10 times n. Take note that the x sub lb is the lower class boundary of the decile class. The cf sub p is the cumulative frequency of the preceding class. The f here is the frequency of the decile class, and the I is the class width. Take note that when we simplify this portion, this formula here is exactly the same formula of the median. So d sub 5 is equal to the median. To complete the formulas, we have the d sub 6, d sub 7, d sub 8, and d sub 9 formulas in here. Let us see this example. Find the 7th decile of the distribution below. We have two columns here. The first column for the class intervals, and we have 7 classes here. The second column is for the frequency, and the respective frequencies are also written. Now, for our first step, let us compute for the total number of frequency, and that is the n. This is equal to 50. Let us construct another column, and that is the cumulative frequency denoted by CF. The values are here. The first number here, the number 2, is copied from the frequency of the first class. And then 2 plus 6 equals 8. So we write here 8. 8 plus 9 is 17. 17 plus 10 equals 27. 27 plus 12 equals 39. 39 plus 7 equals 46. 46 plus 4 equals 50. The last value here must be equal to the total number of frequency. Now let us write the formula for the D sub 7. Now for the step 1, let us find the 7th decile class. Let us compute for this value 7 over 10 times n. Substituting the value of n, we have now 7 over n times 50. The product of 7 and 50 equals 350. And divided by 10, we have 35. We are looking for the 35th item to find the D sub 7 class. We say that the 35th item lies in the D sub 7 class. Step 2, let us locate this 35th item in the CF column. Take note that our numbers for the CF column is increasing as we go down. Looking for the 35th item, it belongs in this class. So we say that the 37 to 45 is the 7th decile class. For step 3, let us collect the required values of the formula. We started with a value 7 over 10 times n from step 1. This is equal to 35. Next is the x sub lb, the lower class boundary of the D sub 7 class. We write here 36.5. We got this value from this class. The lower limit is 37. We subtract by 0.5. So the answer is 36.5. Next is the CF sub p. This is the cumulative frequency of the class preceding the D sub 7 class. And this is 27. Next is the F. This is the frequency of the D sub 7 class. This is the number 12. I is the class width, and this is equal to 9. This number 9 is the number of terms or numbers inside a class. So in all the classes, there are 9 numbers included. For step 4, let us substitute the values in the formula and solve. X sub lb now becomes 36.5 plus this value 7 over 10 times n is 35 minus CF sub p equals 27 all over the F is now 12. And this fraction is multiplied by I, and we put here the number 9. Simplifying further, we can take the difference of 35 minus 27. So we have the number 8. Then we multiply 8 by number 9. So we have 72 over 12. Simplifying this fraction, the quotient is 6. So we add 6 and 36.5. The answer is the 7th decile, that is equal to 42.5. We said that 70% of the distribution fall below this value, 42.5, which is the 7th decile. This is our final answer. I hope you learned something from this video. See you again next time.